welcome everybody. Kia ora, morena, and welcome to Get in Shape 2021. I'm going to invite the people in the coffee queue to perhaps come out of the coffee queue as we're about to kick off. Folks, we were in Wellington yesterday, ran the program down there and ran really well. Today, a little bit different, back in Eden Park, back in Auckland, huge room, lots of logistics, and today for the first time, absolutely delighted that we have so many people on the end of our Zoom call. There's about 80 or 90 delegates who have dialed into this show. Without further ado, I'd love to invite Rob Flannagan, who is the Chair of the Financial Services Council, to welcome you all, to say a few words, and then we'll get the show underway. Rob, welcome.
Thank you, Richard. Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. On behalf of the FSC Board, I'd like to welcome you all here today. The FSC regards financial advice for New Zealanders as pretty critical, and we are very, very supportive of the financial advice, and we're very committed to shows like this and education events, etc. And this is just the first step of a journey. So thank you for coming. It's great to see so many people here. I'm a bit sick of Zoom, I'd have to say. And so enjoy the day. I hope you get a lot out of it, and please ask lots of questions. And I'll hand over to Richard to introduce and start the day's proceedings. So thank you.
Thank you, Rob. So I'll just try and set the scene a little about what we're going to try and achieve over the day. And I guess if we see today's conversation as part of the conversation probably over the last 4 or 5 years, for those of us who remember back in 2015, and Sharon's going to speak beautifully to it shortly, when the review came out and the journey that we've all been on, and next month, there's going to be a magic wand be wanded, and we're going to be in the new regime. And there's been a huge amount of effort from people in this room, outside of this room, working in government, working in agencies, working in the sector to help prepare us collectively to be ready for the new regime. We'll go on a little later on this morning to unveil some latest research from financial advisors around the value and the benefits that they see and how we collectively have responded. But, the truism is that good financial advice is transformational for New Zealanders, and yet only 18% of New Zealanders actually get that advice. We've now got a new regime coming, which is going to lift the standards, if you like, provide much greater confidence overall to the consuming public. The question is, are we ready to now go forth and lift that 18% to 20%, to 25%, to 30%? The data actually is quite illuminating, because there's about 35% of New Zealanders who haven't ever got advice but would be interested in talking to someone about it. That's a huge unmet and latent demand. So we'll go into that in a little bit more detail, but first perhaps a little reflection on 2020, because it was this time last year in this particular room where life was good and life was sunny, and we heard about some kind of illness taking place in other parts of the world. And as we know, pretty much within a month of today, last year, we were kind of into lockdown. And what that had to do was pretty much take us all to a place where we'd never been. My kids were like, Zoom school is now the way to go. But actually, to Rob's point, Zoom school's not as much fun as real school. All of us who ran businesses had to go, well, I can't see my team, we can't talk to our members and clients, what do we do? How do we pivot? How do we change what we're doing? So that kind of agility, that sense of resilience, that sense of change was just massive. And I got to say, as I've said now on a couple of platforms, I'm really, really proud of the way the entire sector responded. Very early on, we were deemed an essential service, and very early on, the entire sector kind of stood up. And the clarity of purpose around two things in standing up was look after our teams first, and make sure that they can look after our customers second. And that absolute clarity of purpose played all the way through large business and small business, through the length and the breadth of New Zealand. And I think that, as they say, you never know how you're going to respond in a crisis. I think the way we collectively responded in a crisis, from government through to sector, is testimony to the place where we are today. And talking to a number of delegates today, I'm sure we've all got friends and families, colleagues overseas. It is a different kettle of fish. People are locked down. I was talking to my cousin, lives in South Africa. He's not likely to go back into any office probably until about July, August this year, and they've already been super locked down. So I think we should take the blessings of our collective energy and collective activity in terms of how we've responded. But I think that's played out, and we'll showcase it in the research. We'll showcase it through the various panels in terms of how well we were prepared for the new regime, but also how well we were prepared to step up and serve clients. So that's a little bit of scene set, if you will. I guess to Rob's point, what we're interested collectively is ensuring that New Zealand has a world-class financial advice sector. And I think this conversation, like I say, on the back of many other conversations and many more to come, are about how do we get and learn from the best locally, the best regionally, and the best globally to make the New Zealand financial advice experience the best in the world. So I think that's the ambition. That's the place where we've got to head to. That's the place where we've got to strive to. The question is, how do we get there, and how do we get there collectively? I just wanted to pay a particular welcome to obviously all delegates today in the room, on the Zoom call, to all of our partners and our sponsors, to all of our speakers. This really is a collection and a gathering, if you will, a hui of the community, and I think everyone has a part to play, and the FSC obviously is delighted to put it on. And so today we're in for a bit of a treat.